Okay, we got the hind quarter here, and we're just gonna open it up through the muscle groups. And if you see this line right here, that's where I open it up. So I'm coming right in, and all I'm doing is following the muscle group. And you can see that all you got to do is stay in between the membrane on the muscles. And you're taking this all the way up. And this is why it is so important in the field that you keep your meat clean. Your processing time will be a lot easier. The quality of meat's a lot better. And this is actually my favorite cut for jerky. And there's your piece right there. And of course you're going to trim off all the bloodshot, any fat. Typically we don't eat the fat that's on a wild game. If it goes in the crock pot, sometimes we'll leave it on. Now what I like to do here is with a fillet knife, I'll come in and just cut that membrane away. And then that's all ground up for dog food. So that's your first cut. And we're coming in. Now once you take that cut out, your bone is right here. So your bone, you can see the hip bone right there. So what I do is I cut right up around, and I follow that, find that bone, and then I just cut and peel the meat right off. Now where that knee is, you can see the knee right there. Go a little in front and back, and you're going to cut back. Then you expose that bone. You can always be removing that bloodshot if you have some of that in there. You don't want to eat that. And all we're doing, you can see, is I'm just staying with that muscle group. Going right to the bone. Cutting that right off. I got two chunks of meat there. I'm going to make a cut right here in the center. These are great for roast, steak. Here's your cut. I'll show you a good roast right here. And that's why it's so important to leave that membrane on. It actually protects the meat until you get it back. Then you can take and open it up and actually peel that off. And there's your nice roast right there. And then the rest of this is kind of hamburger. What I do is I get the fillet knife, I'll come in and cut away all the fat. And it's almost like skinning a fish. I find that membrane and just cut that right off. When you do it, that helps clean up the meat. A lot of that is, you know, hair, a little bit of dirt. You don't want to eat that. And same with this piece. Coming right in, cutting the fat off. All that gets ground up at the end for the dog. Now see how that membrane is right there? What I'll do on all my pieces of meat is I'll cut. This is for burger. And I just go right along that. That way I got a nice clean piece of meat. And I'm cutting that gristle and fat away. It makes your burger a lot better eating, a lot leaner. So those are your cuts right there, and then we move on to the calf muscle. We cut the tendon, and then we're just following that muscle group. A lot of times you can use your fingers to feel right where it's at. There's your calf muscle, and that one too is a real good roast. Throw that in the crock pot. Now there's a lot of good meat on that shin bone, and what I do is I follow that bone. You can see the difference. You see the bone, the meat, and I'll come right along that. And I always hold up from the tendon, go right on around. And we're just staying tight to the bone, trying to get all that meat off of there. And there's some, there'll be some tough tendons, almost like bone in there. So you gotta come a little bit further back away. So that's everything popped off that hind quarter. Now with this, I come right in with the fillet knife, and I fillet that membrane right off of there. That way you got a clean piece of meat. Same on the other side. We're just filleting that right out. You can throw that in a burger or give it to the dog food. So that's the hind quarter.